Welcome to episode 811, Duck Leone, VC King of the World, 10 Lessons. This is an outline of episode 811, lesson 1 to lesson 5. This is lesson 6 to lesson 10. Lesson 1, accelerated change.
Accelerating change. You have to be willing to experiment. You have to be willing to fail quickly. You have to be willing to kill things that don't work. What all this means is that you have to embed in your culture, the culture of your company, a risk-taking attitude where you take a lot of little risk. No big risk is worth risking the franchise, risking the company. But if your employees and your partners are incentivized to take smart risks, try new things.
Lesson 2, starting from zero. Here's some background. He took over leadership at Sequoia Capital in 2012 after Mike Moritz contracted a rare cancer.
You know, there are some competitors out there who are looking at you from the outside and are trying to put you out of business. So the last thing we've done in the last 4 or 5 months, we've taken all the posters down. We had all these posters, 200 IPOs, 20% of the NASDAQ, blah, blah, blah. Take them all off the walls.
Lesson 3, ain't broke. Change it.
Don't go by the adage, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Because you have to realize in a dynamic world, everybody else around you is trying to break it for you. Everybody else around you is trying to take your slot. And the other thing, don't assume that what worked yesterday and what's working today is going to work tomorrow.
Lesson 4, in business, plan. Do not hope.
Hope is the worst word for business. Hope means that you don't have a plan. When someone says, I hope for something, the very first thing you should say is, stop. Hope. What do you mean hope? What's the plan? What's the plan to succeed? Because if you hope for things, they're never going to happen. They're never going to come true. If you plan for things, there's a chance that they may come true.
Lesson 5, do the singular thing.
Means one more thing. Singularity of purpose. And notice the words I've used. Singularity. Meaning we're going to do not those 4 things, but the real tough things for an executive is to do the one thing. Because if you get that right, it's the tip of the arrow of the whole company.
Lesson 6, average age of founders of companies. It used to be 45, now it's 25.
Back in 1988, the typical founder was a 45-year-old middle manager, maybe an engineer. But now you're investing in a 22, 23-year-old founders, in many cases a 19-year-old founders. And you want to save that founder in either a CEO role, a VP of product roles, or a very important technical role. And that is possible to actually do with a 22, 23-year-old founder.
Lesson 7, Sequoia Capital wants to be your business partner, not investor.
We at Sequoia feel quite differently. We do a number of seeds where the sponsors are Y Combinator. We believe we want to be the very first penny of capital into a company for the simple reason we want to be the business partners to these young entrepreneurs from day one. So in many times we co-op with angels. I see some angels in the front row where we're, in many cases the angels invest in companies and then we follow them. And in some cases the angels follow us. But make no mistake, we want to be the first business partner that a young entrepreneur has for the simple reason that we understand, that we know after many, many years that your DNA in your company is set in the first 30, 60, 90 days, and we'd like to be there to assist you in creating some of the greatest DNA that Silicon Valley has ever seen.
Lesson 8, recruiting offbeat, imperfect, but smart types.
You need to hire people mostly for modest means, people that have not followed a preset set of tracks, people that have taken risks, people that have achieved some kind of success early on, people that are smart, but that goes without saying, people that have both IQ and EQ. And then our spec has product management, technical background, has all these conventional lines, and then has a line at the end that says, doesn't meet spec, but he or she is special. And it's the last line that's the most important line of the recruit.
Lesson 9, how Sequoia Capital manages to stay on top of the VC world for 50 years.
And and our real secret is take these heterogeneous individual contributors and showing them on how to work as part of a team, to start using the we pronoun. Take full responsibilities for failure and share the successes. And if there's one reason why we've lasted for 43 years near the top or at the top of our business is because of this. This leads to a high-performance culture that has only one goal, a team-oriented spirit to help founders build great companies.
Lesson 10, the 3 most important things of leadership.
It's vision, it's execution, and it's culture. You only have vision, and you get called a visionary. That's the only thing you have. You can't execute. You only execute, you're called a manager. If you're lucky, you're called an executive. And if you set up a lousy culture, then you're called an asshole.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave your questions and comments below. Wishing everyone peace and prosperity.